Okay. The next thing, so the next systems and tools which we use in construction management. So obviously there are definitely some tools which we use for our management. It's basically not done on pen or paper. So what that is first one is we do a risk management and analyze what are the causes of failure. So risk management or assessment is about identifying the project failures and preparing a plan of action to rectify them. So you need to identify, hey, going down the line due to COVID coming back again from China, I might face some issues in terms of supply chain, in terms of procuring material from other countries. So I should have a very good action plan so that I need to procure materials well in advance, ship them, and them in my premises so that uh, I don't become a victim of supply chain issue. So this is what risk management. So what some important failures you think would be in a construction project would be tight project schedules. Never plan a project tightly. You cannot go neck to neck. It's a construction project. It is you have everybody working on the site is human being. You do never know. Everybody is related to the nature. You never know what's going to work off at what point of time. So you need to have your breathing time for each and every project schedule. A sufficient time gap, a sufficient construction, a decent productivity rate is what to be considered while you are doing your estimates as well as your schedules. And then design variations and variation by client. There are some clients which come up unnecessary design changes, even though that's not there in their agreement. You cannot do a lot of design changes because it takes it first of all wastes money, wastes time, and also it like delays a project a lot of bit because you need to relocate all your resources back to that activity. And then too much of approvals. If you have to like if you streamline, if you have to have one item approved, you need to identify the main approval authority and get it done. But then if you have like 10 persons approving it, it means you have wasting a lot of time. So if you have 10 people sitting on one point, hey, we sit down, we approve this right now so that the team is good enough to execute, that would be a lot better than you passing it through email threads to one person, that person approves to the next person. So it is always good to improve your coordination within the time, looking for the peers who are responsible for all your approvals, have a good rapport with them, make sure they get their things done. So I would say as a team, all teams should work together. That means everybody is working at the interest of the project. So approval should not cause any delay. Then high performance and quality expectations. There are some crazy contracts, some crazy owners. They find a small crack, they find a small thing, they come out. So those are also they expect a very 100% dot job, which is not possible. So high quality expectations. If they are paying a low price, they cannot expect that. So very well, it is important to get your uh, technical specs and your material list or your BOM specified, approved by the client or the owner, whoever. And then the next thing is the poor project management techniques. If you do not have a good management facility, 99% of the time your project fails because you do not have sufficient infrastructure to back up your constraints. You have a 10 labor, 5 of them fall sick. How are you going to replace the 5 of them? That means you need to have a backup of 5 of them to replace them. So if you are not having a good management technique, then you are unfit to complete the project in that stipulated time. Then unavailability of some skilled professionals. So some items in the construction project require high skilled labor. So if you are lacking those, you're unnecessarily wasting time because a person who is skilled can perform the job in 2 hours is far better than an unskilled labor performing it in 15 hours, 20 hours, wasting a 10 to 15 hour of construction productivity. So That makes no sense. So next thing is incomplete approval and other documents. Do not start construction projects without getting approved drawings, because if it is not approved, you are liable to face an issue of rechange or reorder change, whatever. So such, if you are not having those set of approved good for construction drawings, never proceed. Make sure when you start you have all of that. Then incomplete and inaccurate cost estimates. I mean, you have to have a verbal quote from all the vendors. You make sure your final budget after all the value engineering is being signed by and been approved by the client, and make sure every other vendor, subcontractor functions and supplies you within that agreed cost. And you need to be a very strong in contractual documentation in this stage, because this is, at the end of the day, contract is what going to save you. If you have no contract, you can't prove it. And then the overall safety within this, accidents, unnecessary accidents delay the project. In India, safety is considered important, but not to the extent where US and other Western countries value life. They value life a lot. If there is a construction safety issue, the OSHA regulation, they've got so many regulatory bodies like NYC, DOB, OSHA, NYC, DOT, all these regulations coming to picture. You need to do the documentation. You need to show what was the issue, why this accident occurred. Was there negligence towards safety in that? So, and you need to prove that. Unless until you will also have a risk of having a partial stop on the construction project, which is disastrous for a construction project. You can't afford to have unwanted delays over here. The next thing I would talk about is dedication construction merchant. So the construction industry we talk about is one of the largest contributors towards the world's economy. It contributes a huge every year, and in span of generation, many construction industries, design and management processes have been transformed from traditional practices to software oriented. So olden days we were doing drawings on a paper and pencil or using drafter. Now we use AutoCAD 2D, AutoCAD 3D. Initially we were preparing estimates using tables. We had our estimation done using calculator. Now we do it using Excel. We do it using bit software. We do it using takeoff, quantity takeoff software like Bluebeam, on-screen takeoff, and all of that. And our olden day schedule was done again on paper and pencil. Now we do it using MSP and Primavera. So this is how the transformation has occurred from our traditional practices to new practices. And like some designs that were created and updated using drawing boards have now been done using softwares. Our double entry log bookkeeping bookkeeping ledgers are now transferred into Excel and industry specific finance and accounting softwares like Viewpoint. But despite all of this transformation, the construction industry is still on the long way from being truly digitally transformed. So we still have to put in a lot of effort so that our each and every activity is digitally transformed. It means that it is very easy to access each and every point as item of the project and to get an answer. You don't have to reach out to an estimating team to find out the budget cost of this. You can go to the project documents, go to estimating folder, look what this item is and what the cost is. You don't have to go to the scheduling team to identify what is the start date for that particular project. So this is how the management softwares are helpful. Like you have something called Procore. Procore is something leading today in construction management. It is one of the best softwares we can use for construction management. But there has been a survey for a couple of years back in 2019, which says 40% of construction companies still use paper and papers. I think which is bad. Now they have to improve because there's technology. 50% of construction management managers prepare manual reports, again, which is disaster, because all reports, everything can still be digitalized, then can be done on using software, so that everybody on the project can be on the same platform. Next, we have RFI logs. So I spoke about RFIs earlier. RFIs are like request for information. Request for income information can come any point of the project, starting from its planning, pre-construction, construction. Hey, any person in the among the stakeholders might have a question. He might have questions regarding contractual items, agreements, drawings, technical specifications. So it is important for a construction firm to have a proper RFI process. If your RFIs are delayed, it means you're delaying the project. Suppose a procurement, a site team wants to understand the procurement of some construction material. If the supply chain team doesn't answer them, that means they have been pushed to delay their arrangement for that action item. So it basically, you're delaying the project. So the a successful construction company should always streamline their RFI answering system, because RFI should be on top of their priority, be it in terms of the client, in terms of the design team, site team, or whoever it is. All RFIs, delay in RFI means you're delaying the project, because they don't get their answers, and they don't know what they do, what is troubling them. So indirectly, your answer will solve the problem. So a successful company should always streamline RFI process. Phone logs, I don't think it is of that importance, but like sometimes construction managers travel when they are coordinating with projects. So they are scheduling meetings. So nowadays, this is brought into a huge importance, because all the meetings they conduct are like recorded, and they're stored in all these project management softwares, because anytime, any point of the time, hey, you can go back to that discussion. So basically, what you can do is you can prepare the minutes of meeting while you're doing a phone call. You can draft an agenda for the next meeting. You can draft an agenda for that meeting when you're doing a meeting, and that's how phone logs help you. This will automatically also record what your conversations were, what important conversations you have been doing. Next, we talk about delivery logs. Again, this has gained importance a couple of days earlier. I didn't see these happening when I was in India, but now in US, I see there's a lot of importance, because the information about the equipment, material incoming, the construction manager should have a complete idea about how this is going to work, so that the project is not delayed in terms of procurement, in terms of shortage of material and equipment. The next is the important stuff, which is the labor planning documentation, which is our basically schedule. So we have heard about PERT and CPM, critical path. If you all registered for your project scheduling classes, which is teaching you MS Project Primavera, you would have definitely understand what a critical path method and what a PERT is. So PERT is also a project. PERT is abbreviated as Project Evaluation Review Technique, and CPM is critical path method. Like, it is also a step-to-step procedure where you identify the critical and non-critical items in a construction project, so that you avoid all possible project schedule issues and project bottlenecks. So you can, if you want to understand PERT and CPM, it is a lot more important. If you aspire to be a project scheduler, you need to understand what is early start, early finish, late start, late finish, what is a critical activity. You need to understand what is the what is the lacking period. There's so many terminologies. It would need me another session to go much deeper into that, but an overall idea about that is this. I would next jump to talking about the construction project manager job descriptions and key functions which they perform under. So as I said, our project manager or the construction manager, they usually work on these five management, which is